to the engine moaning out his one old song. You think about the woman, the girl you knew.
Yeah, if you look at the statistics, Gulf War I vets are hundreds of times more likely to die of cancer and all sorts of other horrible ailments. For over a decade, major universities and scientific institutions have done autopsies on them. The Marines, the Army forces will shrivel up. They'll be in wheelchairs, and they'll tell them, you're not sick, here's Prozac, you're mentally ill. Then they put them on databases so they can't buy firearms, even though there's no law to do that. They just go to do the instant check and can't get them. And then they die. They go in coffins, they go in the ground. Mission accomplished. Get rid of the troops after you've used them. And just like the police and military and the rescue workers on 9/11, their lungs full of asbestos. Major, institutions did the CAT scans. It's there. They're dying. I mean, I've interviewed these policing people, and you'll try to call them a month later, and they're dead. And we'll have them on. People that are in Truth Rising, a bunch of them that you see at that press conference at the Capitol trying to get funding, they're dead. Government says, hey, there was no dust. Not bad for you. You're not going to get treatment. This is done scientifically, isn't it, Alan?
Yes, because after the Vietnam War, in fact, during it, the government did surveys into the aftermath of the war, especially with the protests back home. They were afraid that young people who were very fit, well-trained in military strategy could get formed within civilian life, within civilian street, and be a force to be reckoned with against government or government policy. So they came up with the idea the best way to do it is to use them when in the military, but cripple them at the same time, so they're useless when they come out. Someone who's got chronic fatigue or various other illnesses is unlikely to join a group and be any threat to the government.
Yeah, M.D. Anderson and others would go into their brain stems, and there'd be chemical weapon in there, or they'd go into their joints, it'd be filled with microplasms, and there's even the patent for the bioweapon.
Yes, and I've talked to some of the troops that came back, too, who were told to take certain pills every day. They were not told what they were, and the sergeants would actually inspect their mouths to make sure they swallowed them. So there's a lot of experimentation going on as well within the military. They don't even know what pills they're taking or what they're for. It's experiments for sure.
And now we have evidence they're giving the police the soft kill weapons. Don't laugh, police. You better investigate this if you care about your own life. Does that go along the lines of what you were bringing up, Robin, with what happened to you in the Gulf War?
Well, yes, sir. Actually, what happened to myself, my platoon leader's wife worked at the hospital in Clarksville, Tennessee, home of the 101st Airborne Division, HUA, and over a sat phone, she called him and said, whatever you do not take those because they've never been approved by the FDA at that point, and the only military in the world that actually took those was the Israeli military. And so I pretty much ceased and desisted after five tablets. So I was done. So, but the Camisea thing, the 101st Airborne, it was a guy in my squad that called the entire division, Michael Williams, Brooklyn, New York, to MOP level 4 because his M8 detector went off, and then 14 minutes later they said, stand down. And
that's right. They blew up the chemical weapons dump and then told people, stand down, take your mask off.
Yes, sir. That actually occurred, and I had a conversation with David Von Kleist of thepowerhour.com, and he said, you know what was odd, Robin, is that 14,000 detectors, according to the Army Times, just malfunctioned that
That's
day.
right. The Army Times reported 14,000 detectors malfunctioned, nerve gas hit them, and a nice soft kill. A lot of them are dead or in wheelchairs. Sorry to hear that happen to you. Take care. Appreciate you. Just remember who did it to you, the New World Order eugenicist. Alan Watt, do 5 more minutes with us and take some final calls. Then Bob Dacey in studio.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones. Final segment with Alan Watt, cuttingthroughthematrix.com. Don't forget, you
can pre-order The Obama Deception at theobamadeception.net or by linking through at prisonplanet.com and infowars.com on the banners on the main page. The film will ship out coming up on the 15th of March. And he is their front man to carry through their New World Order. We need to expose Obama as a treacherous hoax, just a vicious liar. But he himself is a puppet. And so in a way, we should feel sorry for him. We should actually focus on the globalists and what they're doing. I want to try to get to some more calls, but we're just almost out of time here with Alan Watt. Let's go to Solomon in Connecticut. Solomon, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, I'm just really excited to be on your show right now. I've been trying to get in for like 3 days, but I actually wanted to hit a few points, and I just wanted to talk about doublethink today. I think that's a big friggin' issue. Reason why people don't want to listen to you when you say the truth. It's a big issue. I used to listen to your show, but then I kind of stopped, and I've just been picking up now that Barack Obama's in office, because I know I'm a black man myself, and I know that this is just dangerous. This is dangerous psych warfare on not only the black community, but just America and the world in general. So I just wanted to talk about it. I watched 3 things on television the other day, and I don't watch television that much, so this just stuck out to me. I don't know if you've seen it, but Esurance.com, the insurance company, they have a commercial out talking about Earth Hour. I don't know if you didn't know about that, but they want people to turn off all their lights for 1 hour all around the world. So it's just one of those, Yeah,
and it came out that Enron would do that in California, saying there was no power to create the perception of artificial scarcity so that people would accept higher prices. It's all about training us to have less resources. Alan Watt, can you speak to that?
Yes, they want to cut us back drastically from our present power consumption and all energy, in fact. And it goes in with Agenda 21 at the United Nations, where they want us all living in compact cities, really overcrowded cities, and there'll be no private transportation. They'll have rolling brownouts, they call them. They've had them in Europe. They've tried them out there, where they schedule your city or town to have no electricity, maybe once per week, maybe twice per week, and they give you the times they'll be out. So this is all part of this so-called conservation tactic.
And they say they've got to have their phony environmental takeover because they want to actually control new energy so they can suppress the really good new clean industries, and then no one will suspect them of that because they're, quote, the people that want the clean new industries. It's all on record, Alan. It's
on record, and Maurice Strong, who has been up at the head of the World Bank and a whole bunch of hats he wears at the UN, came over to Ontario, Canada in the 80s. He set up the infrastructure to privatize Ontario Hydro, this electric company, and he said at the time that in the future there'll be very little private electricity use for the general people, and he set up the infrastructure to set up big generators to keep plants and factories and offices going. The general population were to live at the very basic minimum level of power, and that was back in the 80s. And he, of course, is Mr. Rockefeller's front man. Because if you're feudal serf and totally poor, that is a mode of control. I mean, Mexico has triple the resources we have, and they have more billionaires per capita than any nation. That's done by design. This is neo-serfdom and feudalism. I appreciate your call, Solomon. Dale, Matt, Glenn, and others, and Drew. You'll have a chance to talk with myself and Bob Dacey. I want to get you back up for a full 2 hours in the next few weeks, Alan Watt. Hope folks will go check out your website, cutthroughthematrix.com. We really appreciate your just amazing analysis and your research, and Godspeed. And thanks for having me on, Alex.